we have a consciousness for no other reason than because it made us more capable of beating the shit out of everything around us and surviving.
I mean, I'll just refer you to E.O. Wilson, if you have some spare time. Basically, he'd just tell you that reproductive strategies include mutualism and evolution.
Mutualism? That's not even a fucking goddamn word. No, that's right. They include gang warfare. Oh, big deal. That would have never occurred to me that part of the natural selection process would be rewarding organisms that gang together and then beat the shit out of other stuff. Oh yeah, that would have never occurred to me. I have to read Wilson to figure that out. Come on.
Biology includes the development of cognitive faculties capable of empathy and sympathy.
Yeah, right. No, capable of prejudice and preference. Capable of grotesque nepotism that we see destroying our economies. Capable of all kinds of racism and bigotry. We've got goddamn borders all over the goddamn place because we don't have any fucking goddamn real empathy. All we have is possession, love. We have attachment. We have addiction, damn it. It's about a goddamn addiction. That's all your fucking desire is. Alright, so give me a rational explanation of how your desire isn't just fucking natural addictions. Alright, and that your love isn't built into addiction and attachment. And that's all psychological rubbish.
Social behavior, utilitarian proclivities. Irony is that...
Utilitarian proclivities? I don't think so. What the fuck does that even mean? Oh yeah, it's somehow to our evolutionary advantage to have empathy for other animals? No, I don't think so. Okay, it's to our advantage to have empathy for the goddamn stuff that's made out of the same genetic crap that we are. Okay, the hardware. You know, being drones in a beehive is not glamorous.
The thought of another committing suicide is perfectly compatible. My reaction to the thought of someone committing suicide is perfectly compatible with evolutionary biology, and for that matter, reality.
Yeah, well then why do you want to stop people from doing it? Why do you think it's in their best interest to be stopped? You know, I mean, so you're just breaking the natural selection process then. You're just going to be more likely to create people who will give birth to other people who will be dissatisfied and need to be injected with chemicals to keep them in the game, right? So you're hurting us genetically by encouraging people who don't want to live naturally to live an unnatural life, a chemically enhanced life. So fail.
It's counterintuitive to me. And the reason I say that isn't because I don't think there are good reasons to commit suicide. Albert Camus, I have great respect for the man, and if he, at the end of the myth of Sisyphus, decided no, you know, he didn't solve this philosophical dilemma and being intellectually honest did commit suicide, okay. But my video is for those sorts of people who occupy the vast majority of, you know, depressives or...
Yeah, I love that. The vast majority of depressives. And so that's really the game, though. You see, we're not allowed. You didn't quote my little submarine analogy, because you're going to say that if you see something to be depressed about in this world, your vision's broken. You're not being optimistic enough, right? So that's really comes down to is this: we're going to have an objective discussion about what optimism is and pessimism is and what reality is, all right, what the right perspective is in between those two extremes, all right? Because you're saying I'm being too negative, too pessimistic. I'm saying you're being too optimistic, too affirmative, all right, too ignorant of the negatives, too dismissive of the negatives. And so that's the real game here. But that's what I'm saying is there's a legitimate fucking intellectual philosophical argument to have about that reality, about which way that needle should be goddamn pointing, or which one of our realities is closer to that center right rationality, reasonable, whatever the word is you want to use. And so, you know, you're going to apply some idiotic standard that, well, whatever's normal in human society, that must be the definition. And by that definition, then you should go back to being a motherfucking Christian. You're fucking deluded, all right? But you're not doing what the normal human being does. Go back to believing in angels. I mean, that's what 70 or 80% of human beings in America believe in. So you're supposed to go back to doing that because you're being abnormal, fucker.
the vast majority of people who are on the edge, where they, after being or receiving social and or medical care, end up leading happy lives. And
yeah, they get reprogrammed. Okay, that's all. It's just reprogramming. It's fucking cult programming. The methods are even more grotesque than the average cult. I mean, the average cult isn't throwing the best chemical knowledge at a brain. Okay, they're at least tying people in chairs maybe and berating them with this bullshit. At least they're doing it with words, not chemistry too. You know, but your fucking industry decides, yeah, let's apply chemicals and we'll berate the hell out of them. We'll talk about how, oh, don't cop out, don't hurt mommy, don't hurt daddy, do it for them, do it for the Gipper, stay in the game for the Gipper, come on, you can do it. All this pep talk bullshit to what? To regain a heroin addiction, to get re-involved, getting back into a fucking rat maze, you know, where there's rat guts all over the fucking goddamn walls. I mean, keep pretending life makes sense, okay? But that's all you're doing. You're pretending until you come up with a rational argument to how we're accomplishing something or going anywhere, okay? But finding a funny way to do the cockroach thing. I mean, that's all we fucking are, is goddamn verbalizing fucking cockroaches.
And later saying they would have regretted following through with suicide. That's
yeah, well, big deal. I mean, I can give you a whole handful of people that, you know, just done that we could have the opposite argument. There's a whole bunch of refuse out there that's been stopped from killing themselves over and over and over, and they're still miserable motherfuckers, and they're still dependent on their medication to get through their fucking day. So bullshit on that.
Really who my video is intended for. And then he says this. It's sort of like a rationalization.
And yes, don't kill yourself. Let us in the medical profession, maybe that's it. Maybe you already have the mind of a doctor. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, let us in the medical profession fuck with you for a few decades, and then you die, okay? Let us torment and torture you for a while first, so we can make some money, so we can get some hookers.
Grow up.
Oh, yeah, that's a really great response. I'll let you finish the rest of your insult. Your little ad hominem bullshit. Grow a brain. It's a valid point, fucker. Okay, the medical industrial complex is against euthanasia, is against the right to die, because they're in the fucking money game. It's in their own fucking interest to keep people in those fucking beds and to keep them full of tubes and goddamn shit and playing this game of life, as long as they're, of course, as long as their fucking medical insurance covers them. Otherwise, yeah, get them the fuck out the windows and get them into the dumpster as quick as fucking possible. You know, so bullshit. I don't need to grow up. You need to take a good look at the industry you're joining in. Okay, the games you're going to be playing. Okay, because some of them are pretty motherfucking sadistic. You're making decisions for other goddamn people. I mean, you could be, you know, some 5-year-old kid right now is getting injected full of goddamn heavy metals and all kinds of shit because all these little asshole people around this kid says it must live, it must live, it must live, and they don't give a fuck how much they torture the goddamn kid. So don't tell me there aren't any fucking questions to be asked about your goddamn profession and its goddamn fucking ethics.
Like, you're what, 49, I think is what your profile says?
Well, what, you're like, what, 13? I don't know.
Grow up?
Grow a brain, be intellectually honest, find another argument, because that one's really lame.
Of course, it has nothing to do with the idea that I'd like to torture somebody, but more the...
Yeah, what has more to do with what idea then? Look, how do you change this equation? You have somebody who is miserable, all right? They're not fucking happy. And you're saying, no, you must be happy. And you know damn well that they're not going to be made happy by snapping somebody's fingers, okay? There's not going to be, you're not going to sit there and wave some medical industrial complex wand over them and all of a sudden everything's going to be all the fuck all right. No, they're going to have to go through something. They're going to have to go through some experience to get re-engaged into the cult. Okay, to regain their cathartic whatever, their mindless marching into the normative battle plan. Yeah, you're going to have to beat them up a bit. Okay, and you're the one justifying that. I'm simply saying, as an atheist, what's your justification? You can't validate this stupid life game. It's a goddamn fucking insects. It's all we are. and you keep sitting there saying we're going somewhere and doing something, no, we're doing the same shit over and over and over in a dirty, stinking, messy, fucking, ugly maze.